Hey guys, Pale700 here, and in today's video I'm going to be adding some soffit lighting to the outside of the shed. So I've already taken out the old recessed lights. There was one there, and then there was one there, but I didn't like that and I bought some more and want more lights. So I've already gone ahead with the hole saw and put one hole there and one there. They're all spaced out evenly as I can get it, considering that one wasn't completely centered. This one is completely in the middle of those two. And then I did the same half measurement from this one to that one and applied it from the other original one to that one. So they're about all centered. That one is a little bit farther back than this one is from this side, but it all works out pretty good. So these are the lights here. I got them from Amazon. They weren't too much, around $78 Canadian for the 6-pack of them. I'm also going to be putting some 6-inch ones in the bathroom, but that will be another video. So these are 4-inch lights. Here's the light. Here's the driver for them, the LED driver. So the light, each one is 750 lumens, which is an upgrade from the old two, which were 600. And one of the best thing about these ones is they are now 5000K, which is basically the color of light. The higher the K, or the Kelvin, is the whiter the light. 3000K is much like old incandescent lights, and I hate 3000K. Anything below 4000K I don't like, so these ones are going to be a nice white color, which lots of people will hate, but I like. So like I said, I have the holes in the ceiling, which I used the hole saw. Here's the hole saw I used. It is a Milwaukee, and it is 4 1/8, which fits these lights perfectly. They need a 4-inch hole for the lights, I'm pretty sure, so this is just a tiny bit bigger, which is good because it gives me a little bit of room to get them in a little bit easier. So it was a little scary drilling the holes. I was not wanting to damage the soffit, so I wanted to go really slow, but I was told that if you go too slow, it could bite easier and then rip the soffit, so I had to just fight my fear and go full speed. And I didn't go straight in. I went on like if this was the soffit, I went in with a slight angle, so one side cut in a little bit first, so there was less chance of it biting and either breaking my arm or ripping the soffit. I also have the connectors there to put the Lumex, which is what we call it here in Canada, or in the US, which is called Romex in the United States. So I have those NMD90 connectors to go into the driver of each light. So as you can see, there's the power there, which is going to serve that light, and the one further back, and then this one is going to power this light, and the one right there over that remote strobe, and which is also going to go around the corner because I'm going to have 2 more lights there, which I haven't drilled the hole for yet. But first we need to run Lumex between these 2 of them, and I'll get to that one later. So I'm going to start by going from this hole down to that hole with the Lumex. I now have wire pulled from the far hole to one of the original ones here. So it was a really big pain. It took about 20 minutes. Tried a few different things. Tried just pushing the wire through. That's what I thought I could do. But then I settled on using the fish tape. I had to just bend the end up so it would slide through. You would be best to have pull rods with the attachment on the end that's made to go over like like T-bar and bumpy surfaces, but I didn't, so I just had to spend a lot of time on it because it was a pain, because the wire can't just slide through there since it's really sharp. I don't want to rip the outer jacket of it, so I kind of had to just push it up and then pull, and then come back off the ladder, come back here and push it up and pull. So now we will repeat that on this side. And I've changed my mind. I'm just going to go from this one over to here since it's kind of mangled up. The soffit's here. I'll be able to bend it back, but I'd rather just somewhat mangle up one than the other ones. I now have all of the wire pulled like I showed last time, from the end to the first middle one, and then from the first middle one to the second middle one over top of the orange strobe. And this one I'll do last because like I said, on this side I might be putting 2, but that's going to be a pain in the ass because I'll have to go around this corner. I'll see if it's even doable, but first we're going to install those 3 lights right there. Even if it's not doable, I won't feel bad at all because I'll just have 2 extra lights which I don't really care about because you might think that's a waste of money, but I paid $78 Canadian for all 6 of these, and to buy them individually was like around 20 bucks each, so I'm still saving money even if I don't use 2 of them. First we'll take 3 drivers to put up. I'll do the lights after, so now we have to install these 3 drivers. So the very last one, we'll only need 1 knockout removed, so these just open up like this, and then we can remove that one. So the last one needs 1 removed, then the middle one will need all 3 knockouts removed. Okay, my camera battery died there and I didn't know it, so that's why that video ended kind of early. So the middle one has all 3 knockouts out of it, because you can put 2 wires in an NMD connectors, but I have 3 knockouts, so I might as well just use them all, and then both the end ones just have 3 knocked out of them. So these do not have morettes. They have the push-in connectors. They are nice because they're fast, but I don't like them, and I'm sure they are fine because they are approved. I just don't like to use them since I don't trust them. I've heard stories of them coming loose, but in this case, there is very little load. Each light is only 9 or 10 watts. Alright, so I have my last one that I'm going to put up first at the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the connector. So now I'm just going to show you what we're going to do up on the ladder. Okay, I've pushed the wire in. I only have about 4 inches. Since we don't need much, that might even be still a little bit excessive. I'll probably cut that back. But we have pushed the wire through. So basically is how these work. They're kind of like the same thing that you have on your boxes, where it's kind of like a one-way trap where once the wire goes in it can't pull out. I could have used the metal ones, but I just thought in this case it'd be nicer, being I have a lot to do, and I think they take up a little bit less space, and these are so flimsy and dangling around it would have been a pain to put on. So the plastic connectors do suck for trying to get the wire back out, but I have lots of still up there, so I can just cut it off in the future if I ever need to do something. Or if I was putting in the same thing, I'd just pop out this connector and shove it back in the new one. So anyways, now I'm going to run my blade down here and strip the wire and then put it into our connectors. All our connections are made. I'm sorry I couldn't show it. It's just I'm working on top of a 6-foot ladder, so it's kind of hard to do things with one hand. So now we can go ahead and close this up, snap that shut, and now we can connect our light to the driver and push it back up into the ceiling. So on this side, I think the voltage range is in between about 30 to 50 volts. That's what it said, if I remember correctly. So there's a little arrow on there that lines up with an arrow on here, and then you put it in, and then this will seal it up and make it pretty watertight. You're allowed to use these in showers and situations like that. Connection is made. So now this guy can get up here into the soffits. And now this is going to be tricky to do one-handed, but we pop one side of this in here, and then this side snaps up. And now these ones are pretty small, but I was actually working on installing some big ones, like some 12-inch ones or something, 16-inch, some giant ones in a theater, and the things on them are way bigger, like rat traps, and when they snap you in the finger, it's not a pleasant feeling. So now that this is installed, we can take off the wrap. It's not coming off as satisfying as I thought. Maybe next one I'll take it off before I put it up. This one is installed, and now we will move over to this one. So this one is our power coming in. Okay, so we now have the outer sheathing stripped off of all three of our wires, so we can now strip the actual conductors. Okay, so now starting with our ground, we can push it into the connector, and now these connectors are just big enough. They have 4 spaces, one being used by the manufacturer, and now I'm going to use the other neutrals next. I give them all a tug after to make sure that I have them properly in there. They are kind of satisfying to use, how they just push right in. Now I can see why they only gave you 3 of these, because there would not be much more room in here if there was a 4th wire, especially if you were using number 12. This is only 14. So that just barely fits. There, that just barely snapped together. So now I can shove this guy back up in here. And it just popped open. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. Now we can put our light, attach it to the driver, line up the 2 arrows, and then there is a red seal in there, you probably can't see it. There we go. Alright, I'm not going to show you the install on this last one because I think you guys are starting to get the drill by now. As you can see, now this one over top of the strobe is now in. Hopefully that strobe doesn't create a weird shadow, but if it does, that would almost be a good thing since it will keep a little bit more light out of the window. That's probably why there wasn't one originally there, but I don't really care, it doesn't bother me anyway. I'd rather have more light on the outside. So now I will do this one, which I'm not even going to bother showing you that one either, since again, same thing. Okay, so now all of these are on. Right here, they're all installed. I'll go ahead and turn them on. They're all a nice white LED, and they look good. Turn them off. So these are on a Leviton timer switch. This is the Bluetooth one, so because I don't want the Wi-Fi one, it was more money, and I didn't really need it since I was just going to set the time for it to come on and off and don't need to do it remotely. So this is the one. Now I just had this off. You can hear the relay click, but if it's already off, it doesn't click. I was just relying on this to be the disconnect. Probably not a good idea if you're going to do it. Maybe shut off the breaker, or if it's a switch like this, that's safer if you know no one else is going to be messing with it. So just sometimes maybe don't use an electronic switch, because anything that is electronic has the potential to fail. Anything does, but especially if it's electronic, you never know what can happen. Especially being its default is on. Its fail-safe is in the on position, so should something happen, not a great idea, but I was just constantly pretending it was hot to just be safe. At this point, we're just going to have to wait for nighttime to turn them on, and now I actually can't add the 2 over there because right there it is blocked off from the other section. I thought maybe I could, but I can't. Either way, that one would have been the original one, and this one was, so now I have 2 more. It is now dark out, as you can see, and this is how the lights came out. As I mentioned, I would have liked a couple up there, but we still do have the motion sensor light lighting up this area over here in front. And then down the side of the shed, these lights are nice and bright. They look great. I love the 5000K color. It looks so much better than the old 3000. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video. I will be making a separate video of installing the lights in that bathroom, which are a kind of similar light, but the process of doing it will be a lot different, being there isn't already power there. But as I said, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you did enjoy this video or found it useful, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe.